Hi there, welcome to Xposed TV, brought to you by Stealth Productions. I'm Sarah, your host, and I'll be introducing you to an individual who many of you may have already seen on your TV screens, depending on the part of the country that you reside in. She is a news reporter and author with a red-hot, bubbly personality, and she is much more than that, which we're about to find out. She's a news reporter who always gets her story. She's in the Stealth Production Studios, and she's no other than New York's own Jennifer Bisram. We're so delighted to have you on Xposed TV. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. You know, this is very different. I always say I'm always sitting on that side of the chair interviewing people. So forgive me, guys, if this is a little weird because I'm being interviewed, and I don't always get interviewed. So.
Right. And
so if I jump in, if you ask me a question and I jump in and I try to like re-ask you the question, let me know who's interviewing and who's not, okay?
We'll do that. Now, leading up to your current career as a news reporter in Florida, Miami, Florida, you've also done numerous years work in New York in the broadcasting field. So how is it different or similar reporting in Miami versus New York?
Oh God, I would say everywhere you work is different, especially in journalism. The rule of thumb for every journalist, and they can probably attest to this, is that every day is different on the job, every place you go, and you're technically going to a new place every single day on the job. Mm-hmm. How is it different? I worked in New York for many years, and I also did print for a while. I wrote for newspapers, magazines, and then I transitioned into television. Mm-hmm. You know, Miami's a fast market. New York's a fast market. I also worked in the Orlando market. A little bit slower. Everywhere though, it's great because you get to meet different people, different cultures, different stories. Right. So, you know, the crime rates are different. You know, in Florida, you cover weather. It's a big deal out there. I mean, here you cover weather, but here it's like snowstorms. Right. There it's like heat waves and hurricanes and rain, and get your rain gear out all the time. And here people are like, you know, hoping it doesn't snow,
Complete opposite.
Like Sandy doesn't hit again. Right. But yeah, so it's different, but it's the same because your routine is the same every day. You go in and you never know what's going to happen, what the news of the day is going to be.
Which brings me to the stories that you gravitate to, being a reporter on the beat. Do you essentially go out with your producer and find those, or as part of your real prompts, individuals to send in those juicy bits as events occur? How do you essentially get the stories that you report? How do we
get the stories? Okay, so it depends on the day again. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you'll come in before I even get to work. I have an email or I have a phone call, and they're like, "This is what's happening. There's breaking news. There is a huge accident, or there is a elderly couple, God forbid, that was, you know, injured or shot or whatever." And you got to go, you know, because it's the news of the day. It's breaking. Right. There'll be other times that, you know, viewers will send us things. And I always ask folks to always send me, because I will push very hard to try to get the stories on the air if it's something that's reportable. Right. That being said, you always have to try to get both sides of the story. Mm-hmm. So if you say to me, "Jennifer, this person has been bothering me, oh my God, and I want to help you, but I'm going to make sure I talk to the person that's bothering you first so I can get both sides of the story." So it really depends on the news of the day, the current events, because, you know, we can easily do like a national or international story. For example, something really horrible is going on in Gaza. We have to do it. Right. You know, sometimes it's a slow news day. And so that's the days that the story pitches that reporters bring to the table will be more likely to get done because there's not that much news. So we want some enterprising. So what do you guys have? Sometimes it's as simple as, "Hey, I'm driving down the street and I saw that sign and, you know, it intrigued me for a good, bad reason. I'm going to find out more." So on my downtime, I will put in calls, try to find out about it. And sometimes it's what you see that turns into a story. Or what you don't see, I should say.
Right. In your line of work, how often do you come across the West Indians, Guyana specifically, in your day-to-day?
I love that question, and here's why. Because I feel like that's my goal every day. So people ask me why I got into this business. A, to help folks, and I talk about this a lot with you know, a lot of people that ask me. My parents are first-generation immigrants to this country, obviously from Guyana. And so I feel like we may not have all the doctors and the lawyers and the reporters and everything in the world yet, but give us some time. Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah. You know. So I think when you know, our fellow West Indian folks see me on TV, they're like, "Oh my God, like she's one of us and she's there." you know, and she can tell my story now. You know, and so it's great because sometimes I don't even know where these viewers come from, but they'll find my email, they'll call up the station, and then, or they'll invite me to a cultural thing they've got going on to host. Or sometimes I'll see them on the street, and it's so funny, they'll just come up to me, and like, it's kind of weird sometimes because you don't always know who they are, but they know who you are. And, but you know what, I love it, I embrace it. And so every city that I've gone to so far, whether it's the New York, whether it's the Orlando, whether it's Miami, whether it's wherever I go next, you know, we all, you know, everybody, we're all people, we exist, you know, and it's nice when they come out. It really, really is. And you know what, again, they'll email, they'll come up to you sometimes in the grocery store, like, you know, it just really depends. But it's nice to see that. I really embrace it and love it and encourage it, you know?
Absolutely. And now we want to talk about the many, many hats that you wear. The most recent being you've become an author.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
The book is called For the First Day of School, Do You Want to Be My Friend?
Yes, yes.
Now, it's based on a true story about someone very near and dear to you.
So, my sister.
So tell us about your sister, the concept, and why you thought it would make for a fabulous children's book, because it is.
Thank you. So my sister is younger than I am, and so I remember her coming home the first day of school. So you think I've got personality. My sister's got it too. And so she came home the first day of school and she goes, guess what I did to myself and my parents? She says, I went up to everybody, her name is Cheryl, and she went up to everybody saying, hi, my name is Cheryl. Do you want to be my friend? Hi, my name is Cheryl. Do you want to be my friend? And she kept doing that to everybody in her class. So when she came home that day, she had like everybody in the class were her friends. And so it's been a story that we have like joked about in our family for years. It's always been in my mind. I taught, I don't know if you know this, but when I was transitioning from print to television, I taught for 2 years here in New York City. And so I love working with children. I don't have any yet, but I love children. And everyone else's children around me. Yes. But, you know, I always see as a reporter, you get to talk to the audience every day. Your audiences are not really children. They're teenagers. They are adults, moms and dads, et cetera, et cetera. They're not really children, not all the time.
Right.
So I always try to figure out a way, how am I going to reach out to children? What's a good way to reach out to the children? Because they're not watching the news. They should not be watching the news many days, let me tell you. And so I always wanted to do a children's book. I always wanted to do it. One day I was just sitting around and it just came to me because, you know, going back to your question before about, you know, do I see a lot of West Indian folks in the different cities that I go to? No, I don't always see it sometimes. Obviously, New York City is a melting pot of the world, and so it appears that there are a lot of us here more than anywhere else, but it's just that we haven't gone to those other cities yet. Do you know what I mean? And so I remember first moving from New York City to Orlando. Extreme culture shock. People didn't know who I was, what I was. They're like, are you, you know, what's your ethnicity? What are you? You know, are you this? Are you that? And, you know, at first I used to be like, Mom, oh my God, you know, why don't they know where Guyana is?
Does that make your job easier, harder, or just another day at work enjoying what you do?
I wouldn't say it makes it harder or easier, honestly. It's just more rewarding when I can know that I'm attracting, you know, our culture to come in and watch the news, and I invite them to watch our news and to share their stories with me. But going back to the reason why I wrote the book is because I really, really, really wanted to, you know, let people know where Guyana is. What is Guyana? What makes it so beautiful? Now, we might not be the most beautiful beaches and islands in the world. That's fine. But we've got a lot of good stuff there, too. And I think if people take time to learn about it, if it's on their radar, they will look into it and find out what it is. And that's kind of like my goal. I want to help put Guyana on the map. I'm not saying it's on the map. Don't get me wrong, people.
Well, it actually is on the map.
It is on the map. But what I'm saying is I want to further put it out there and bring out like all the positives and, you know, continue to put it out there. Let it grow, you know, let it be one of those common countries that people talk about when they're having dialogues about, you know, different countries around the globe. That's all, you know.
And not just to be known as the Jim Jones.
You know, I didn't want to go there because I know that this is going to air, and I really was trying to get away from that.
No.
But it's important that you say that, because that's the first thing that somebody says to me when I say Guyana. They're like, oh, that's the Kool-Aid, the Jim Jones. And I go, but it's also, did you ever, while you were reading about that, did you ever look at the other things about Guyana? And they say no. So with that, I decided to write this book. And I realized, you know, here's the main reason why. At the end of the day, we bleed the same, we cry the same, you know, we're the same. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter where you're going. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who you pray to. We all are the same. But we do come from different places around the globe that have something special to offer, if you will. Right. And that's basically why I did this book. Guyana is in there, yes. But there also, this little girl goes to school. Her mom tells her to make friends, and she goes and she says, hi, my name is Star, do you want to be my friend, to everybody, whether it's on the school bus or wherever it is, you know, in the classroom, lunchroom. She learns that every time she meets somebody, she's meeting somebody from a different part of the world. And then they're giving her a little nugget about that place. And at the end of the day, she ties it all together, saying the same thing that I just told you. We're all the same, but come from wonderful places with wonderful things to offer.
And how much you learn that way, right?
Yeah.
When you know firsthand about someone's culture.
You do. And so, you know, I feel like if you start from a young age, listen, sometimes we don't have the time to speak to our children and tell them exactly, this person is like this country is like this. Look, it's going to take somebody like at least 5 reads before they actually grasp everything. My parents learned stuff from this, you know. Adults learn stuff from this book. I learned a lot from this book. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's just about teaching them things about different places at an early age. Right. And I feel like that can combat a lot of things. It can combat differences. You know, a lot of times children, it's not that we don't like each other. Sometimes we're just afraid because we don't understand each other. Right. But if we can understand each other from a young age and we grow into that through school, through college, through our careers, this is going to sound
a whole lot
easier. This is going to sound like weird, but like, you know, it'll be make the world a better place,
yes,
you know?
It actually does.
Yeah.
Just those little nuggets.
Yeah.
Also the fact that, I mean, just looking at it, looking at the book cover, it tells exactly what it is that you're going to read. It's about every face, every color, and it's a great concept. Love it.
Thank you.
Now, how is the book doing?
Being received very well. We only launched it a few weeks ago. We had a book signing in Miami that was very successful. We have another one in New York coming up. So, you know, we're trying to get it into the educational systems in the U.S. Okay. So it's already kind of getting circulated in some of the schools in South Florida. We're eventually getting it into Central Florida, and we are going to be getting it in some schools here in New York City. But I do want to go home to Guyana. I want to get it into the educational system there, and also go to the different countries that are listed in this book and do that as well and get it there. So this book is, you know, you ask book sales, and that's kind of like a weird question, you know.
Well, not necessarily the book sales, but how are the bookstores? Because you're going after prominent bookstores.
Yes, yeah. More importantly, though, I feel like it's about the message.
Right.
So it can be in this bookstore, but is it going to touch your home in a bookstore? Unless you go out looking for it, you're not, you know? So I feel like the way to teach it is in the classrooms. And so, yes, I went in the bookstores. Yes, go buy it. Barnes & Noble, Amazon, it's there. Google it. No matter where in the world you are, you will get it. But the most important thing is that the message that not just children, but parents and teachers alike will be able to take away from it. So with that said, I wanted it to be everywhere. I want it to be one of those books, you know, there's a book called First Day of School Jitters that teachers usually read to their students on the first day of school. I want this to be one of those books, First Day of School. Because guess what? You see all these ethnicities here? If it's not like that now, it's very close to it. In a few years, this is exactly what our classroom is going to look like.
Yeah, if not already.
If not already.
Right. So on that note, I do want to know, we haven't talked much about your hometown.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that, and maybe a small chance the reason you frequent Queens, New York as often as you do. So tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so I was born in Brooklyn, yes, Brooklyn Hospital. I was raised in Queens, New York. I spent a big chunk of my life in Queens. Family, friends, school. I graduated from Queens College. For my undergrad, I went to Brooklyn College, starting my master's there. And then obviously moved to Orlando, where my family is, and now I'm in South Florida. My parents are from Guyana. And that's my Guyanese tie. Yeah. But you know what? My parents are part of me, and Guyana's part of me. So it's not like, oh, well, you're not from Guyana. No, I wasn't born there, but I might as well have been because, you know, my parents are. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and they tried very hard when I was a young girl. We'd go back every year, you know, and then...
So you've done that?
Yes. Oh, yeah. But, you know, full disclosure, we stopped going for a while because a lot of our family, you know, came over to the States. Yep. And so we didn't go for a while. And when I was in Orlando, there was a Caribbean Chamber of Commerce there. And they had this thing going on. I don't know if you're familiar, Expo. And I went there about 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I want to say, for the first time in 18 years. I know, I'm bad. But I went back. That was the point. Okay. And, you know, it was really nice. I was part of Expo. I met the president. You know, I sat down in the State House with him. It was such a humbling experience, you know. I didn't make it back where my parents are from, which is Quarantine Berbice. Okay. But I did go to Georgetown, and I had never gone there. Beautiful place. I will go back again soon, and I will go back to Quarantine, but Berbice. But my point is, it's you know, you come to you know, the States, or you come over and you leave, you know, Guyana. You know, people say it all the time, and it's not that you forget where you come from, but it's nice to go back and revisit where you're from,
right.
you know, for yourself, for the people around you. People are so happy, you know, nothing bothers them. Like, oh my God, I want your life, you know? I love it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's true when but you weren't born there.
No.
But even though I was born there and I came to the US.
Where were you born?
I was born in Grove, East Bank.
Okay.
Which is in Georgetown,
okay.
since you don't know the areas as well.
I know a little bit about Georgetown.
Well, this was in Grove, a few minutes outside of
okay, I don't
the
know
city.
That. I'll be honest. I don't know that much.
This is going towards the airport.
Okay.
It's the area that I was born in.
That's where they have the new hotel, or one of the new hotels, the Princess Hotel, somewhere around there.
Oh dear, I haven't gone back in quite some time.
So. She was wanting to school me, and I'm schooling her.
No, but the reason for saying this is, I still refer to Guyana as home.
Why would you not?
Haven't been here for more than half of my life. So there's something dear and special about coming from someplace else and setting up your shop or your home in another part of the world. So good old Guyana is always going to be my homeland.
You should go back?
So I will. I did go back after several years of coming, about a decade later, but not in the recent years. I am going to with my children. Beautiful. When they're of age.
Beautiful. So they can appreciate it and enjoy it. Yes, oh God, that's a great idea.
They're a bit young right now.
Yeah.
So on that note, I do want to say thank you for being on Xposed TV. That was short, right?
It was. Hey, look, I'm getting comfortable. We're ending this now. Like, I was ready for more questions.
And we do hope it's the first of many books to come, and that you'd visit us again.
Oh, absolutely. You've got my number now, so you can bug me anytime.
Okay.
You've been good to me.
And for future events, how can our audience find out
Sure.
more
So
about
our
you?
publishing company is busybookspublishing.com, and usually that's where all of our book signings and book events are. If you want the book, you can go to barnesandnoble.com or amazon.com and just either put my name or, hey, first day of school, do you want to be my friend? You can always get it there. And you can always visit my website, too. I'm always putting where my next stop is going to be, might be there, things like that. Pictures, behind-the-scenes stuff, jenniferbisram.com. I'm going to plug my Instagram and all my social media stuff. Whoever's watching it, my Twitter is Jen Bisram TV, Facebook, Jennifer Bisram, Instagram, same thing. But, and I say that because I want people to join the conversation with me.
Absolutely. And what better way?
Yes, I respond to everything and everyone. So I welcome more friends.
Okay. If you can take them on.
Oh, now
okay, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But congratulations on first day of school. Do you want to be my friend?
Thank you.
And all the very best in all aspects of your life.
Thank you very much for having me. And I have to say, Xposed TV, great job. I am very proud to sit here, with you and representing Xposed TV today. I think you guys are doing a great job, and any support you need, just let me know.
Thank you so much. And to you, our audience, we thank you so much for joining us as we expose Jennifer Bisram and her new book, Go Out and Get It, First Day of School, Do You Want to Be My Friend? Awesome concept. And for those of you who's been lacking in the Xposed TV episodes, you can catch those up on our YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Sarah with Xposed TV, coming out of the Stealth Production Studios.
Truly, I'm telling ya, hey. No matter what them say, no matter what people do, all them a try, but no matter them a cool, hey. Me no listen what them say, me no cater what them do. Come on, Guyanese and me ever stay damn right. Me no worry what them say, me no worry what them try. Me no worry them a do, want me take you with the smile. And I listen what them say, me no listen to them lies. No matter what, and I a true Guyanese until me die. Forever. Sibily wop wop wop. Yeah. It matter. Yeah. Where you from? Serious thing. Hey. Boom rock. No matter what them say, no matter what people do.